new warnings about what has become a common thread in some of the deadliest terror attacks across this country. We learned quickly on Sunday that the terrorist behind this weekend's massacre here in Orlando was born in New York to parents who immigrated from Afghanistan. But that is not a first. In 2015, Syed Farook was one of the two terrorists who killed 14 people in San Bernardino, California. He was born in the United States as well to parents who immigrated from Pakistan. That same year, Nadir Sufi, the son of a Pakistani father, took part in a shooting in his hometown of Garland, Texas, where he was raised. And in 2009, Nidal Hassan, the son of Palestinian immigrants, killed 13 people at Fort Hood. Now, there are questions about what can be done to stop the so-called second-generation terrorists, all of whom have American passports and live here. For more on that, I'm joined by Mubin Sheikh. He's a former extremist turned undercover operative. Mubin, thank you very much for being here. So, first to start with you, you say actually you were radicalized and you got married. And when you got married, because I'm just curious, given the first two segments, did your wife know that you were radicalized?
No, actually, I hid it from her.
And so, do you believe there's any chance that in this case here in Orlando, she didn't know the full extent of what he was or what he was planning, notwithstanding these reports we've heard tonight?
You can't say notwithstanding the reports, because given the reports, she knew exactly what was going on.
Well, these are, we're going to learn more in the days and weeks to come about what she knew, and then her lawyers will weigh in. I want to ask you about this second generation issue, because this has been studied now, that the immigrants from other countries may not have as much trouble here in the United States as their children do. And so many wind up, of these terrorists, are second generation. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, very often there are identity conflicts that are at play, and this is exactly what happened with me. My parents are from Indian background, and it's hard to decide who are you supposed to be. For some people in the U.S. Who feel people are saying to them, look, you're not American. We don't consider you American enough. So then they begin to look at other identities that they can latch onto to then have some kind of identity. Like we hear from this guy's case. I mean, he was gay. He couldn't deal with the fact that he was gay, and he took it out on the LGBT community to basically destroy his former self.
It certainly sounds like he was gay. He was frequenting gay websites and gay dating sites, and there had been testimonials coming out now from people who knew him in high school suggesting he was hitting on young boys and men when he was a young man and so on. So it certainly seems like this was no accident that he was at the Pulse Club and that he felt such hatred for himself and for other gays. Either way you look at it, it's homophobia. So what to be done about that, Mubin? As somebody, with your expertise, we can't be running around suspecting everybody whose parents are from Afghanistan or from Pakistan. That's the last thing we want. And that's actually one of the reasons these people find themselves in the position they're in.
It's very important that we do look at, like, for example, the Disney security. I mean, they did a really good job identifying the couple as casing the place. You don't want to create false positives. You don't want to say, I'm going to report on that Muslim, but I don't want to be politically correct and not report it. Look, you're going to overwhelm police with false positives. There are certain things which you can see, which security guards saw this couple doing. Very strange, observable behavior. It's not enough that a person is Muslim or they're a couple, they have a hijab or whatever. They must show some kind of behavior. The problem is when you have a husband and wife team or brothers, you see this a lot in IRA terrorism, where people are very tight-knit. They won't tell people, their own family members. They'll deceive others as to what they're doing so as to foil surveillance attempts and attempts to interdict even by undercovers.
And you see it, this guy started to go into the mosque more often. He had outbursts at work, which were not, nothing was done about them, according to our guest last night. So you could see the hostility coming out, even with the beating of his first wife and so on. And yet, no one continued to watch him. At least they spotted him, but they didn't continue. Mubin, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Megan.